You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network, the home of the Options Podcast. For more quality options programs, visit theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app available in the iTunes and Google Play stores. Select programs are also available via live stream at mixlr.com/options-insider. That's mixlr.com/options-insider. Don't forget to follow along with your favorite programs and submit your own questions for the hosts at twitter.com/options, stocktwits.com/options, facebook.com/theoptionsinsider, or via questions at theoptionsinsider.com. The futures markets can be downright scary. Limit up, limit down. What the heck is RBOB anyway? Are they going to dump a truckload of soybeans on your front lawn if you click the wrong button? Come to think of it, maybe you should just stick to your comfort zone. Or you can break out of it with the Futures Rundown. The Futures Rundown is here to help you make sense of these scary markets. We'll analyze all the top futures trading activity, explore the ins and outs of your favorite products, explain exactly how futures work, and hear from leading experts in the futures markets. We'll even tackle all of your wildest futures trading questions. If it involves futures, then you'll hear about it on the Futures Rundown. The Futures Rundown is brought to you by T4 Futures and Options. Elevate your trading experience with the T4 Futures and Options trading platform. Whether you prefer desktop or mobile applications, T4 delivers low latency and professional-grade functionality for both traders and brokers. Take advantage of theoretical sheets, strategy solver, MBO, advanced charts, and a suite of powerful features to enhance your trading strategy. Visit ctsfutures.com or search for T4 Futures and Options on Google to register and get a free month. And now, it's time to break into the futures markets. It's time for the Futures Rundown.
All right, everybody. It is Wednesday time once again for the Futures Rundown, the newest addition to the network, the program where we break it all down on the underlying side, the futures side. What's hot out there? Is it lean hogs? Is it the 10-year note? Spoiler alert, it's probably the 10-year note over the lean hogs every week. And a whole bunch more. My name, of course, is Mark Longo from the optionsinsider.com. Remember, if you're listening to this show, you should be listening to the full network, of course. And if you want to go above and beyond, you want to join us for awesome pro Q&As, you want to get early access to a lot of fun things that we do, you want to chat and joke with a lot of fun people, maybe they'll buy you a Shiba Lambo or two if you're hanging out in our chat. Maybe you can be like Douglas Broom. You can win our March Pro Trading Crate. Congratulations to you. Maybe you can join us for Options Oddities every Friday, where you get not just awesome trades, but also some cool behind-the-scenes bells and whistles, let's just say, that are exclusively for our pro, that are, I think, pretty freaking cool. And judging from hearing from you folks, a lot of you saying the same thing as well. You want to learn what the hell I'm talking about? Head on over to the pro, theoptionsinsider.com/pro. It's a fun place to be. As for us on this show, the most fun place to be is the trading pit. So let's get there.
It's time to break down all the action that's lighting up the futures markets this week. What's limit up and what's crashing and burning? Let's find out. It's time to enter the trading pit.
All right, everybody, welcome to the trading pit. Going to be a bit of a Just the Facts, ma'am edition of the show this week. I won't regale you with my tales of automotive battles ahead of and during the madness that is Liberation Day. I already did that on the old OBC. Check that out if you are intrigued out there. With the lesson of don't do it if you don't have to, listeners, unless you're prepared for some battle. Let me just put it that way. Intense stuff going on out there in the motoring world right now as tariffs loom on the horizon. But you know what's looming right now? A whole bunch of futures. Let's get out there right now. Let's see what's lighting it up. You know, we got madness kicking it off again this week. Days where we're down 1%, then we're up 1%, sometimes in the span of a few minutes. 100 handle intraday range in the S&P. Other assets going crazy. Gold hitting new all-time highs. Talking about copper not that long ago, hitting new all-time highs. Energy ebbing and flowing. What the hell's going on in dairy and OJ and crypto and everything else? That's what this show is all about, listeners. To the upside we go this week. Let's kick it off. Again, our top 5 to the upside this week. We got our old pal, Nat Gas. It is the May Nat Gas contract, up a little over 5, about 5.06% out there this week. Right above it, we've got our old pal, canola. Haven't seen that popping on our radar in a while. Going out to May there as well, up 6.69%. So a spicy little week there for canola. Number 3, listeners, you can probably guess this one if you've been listening to what I was just saying and watching the equity markets. It's our old pal VIX, moving up nearly 10%, 9.58% this week. Again, I know I've said it a million times, I'm a broken record, percent of a percent. VIX in and of itself is a percent, so a percent can't move a percent, but yet it can. It's a long-standing debate in the vol community. Just make your peace with it. I have up 9.58% this week for this time the April contract. And VIX listeners, the rest of this is all May. Cocoa. Number 2 is cocoa. Back to the realm of cocoa. So if you're hoping for a little bit of a discount on your candy bar or your hot chocolate, not this week, listeners. The May contract up 11.28%. And the number 1 upside mover this week, listeners, dominating our tape to the green. It's soybean oil. The May contract up 12.62%. We were just talking about this last week with our good buddy Kevin Green. Soybean oil have been kind of on a wild ride of late, and obviously reflecting that again this week. Now to the downside, to the red we go, listeners. And it's actually a bottom 6/5. Again, you could probably guess why. If you've been listening to the show at all this year, you probably know why. Number 5/6. It's a newcomer to the list. It is the South African Rand. A little bit longer term as well, going all the way out to June. The June South African Rand future down about 2.5% this week. So no love for the Rand this week. That's kind of interesting. Number 5/4, listeners. It's our old pal, high-grade copper. Dialing it back to May this time. It is off exactly 4% so far on the week. And then numbers pretty much 4 and 3 combined are, of course, our old pal, the Ether Big and Micro Futures, all in April, off 4.82 and 4.87% respectively. Yeah, what can be said about Ether at this point? We talked about it on the crypto rundown. Again, this week, people were hoping this was the year for a little bit of turnaround. Our chat's always joking about Shiba Lambos. I know some ETH folks, maybe not hoping for Lambos, but at least for a little bit of catch up, a little bit of parity with the rest of the big crypto assets. And instead, no, it's outperforming, but outperforming in the wrong direction this year, listeners. So yeah, yet another week of hemorrhaging on the ETH front. And then number 2, listeners, turn those machines back on. It's our old pal FCOJ. The May contract off 5.93%. And then the number 1 downside mover this week, kind of interesting. Again, we are in a very tariff-driven world right now, listeners. That reflects why number 1 is our old pal aluminium, as the Brits say. Again, going out to June, so a longer-term contract here. The June aluminium contract off 6.18%. I think it just sounds classier when you say aluminium. I'll have some rolled aluminium, please. As we keep rolling, listeners, out to the most actives today. What's lighting up the tape out there today? And again, you know what? Just to kind of mix it up a little bit, because we are doing a Just the Facts MAM edition this week. And also because I think it's informative for you folks to hear these numbers sometimes. We usually strip out the micros from this list. This week, we're going to leave them in. See where they lie in the list, listeners. And because of that, because we're adding a few more, we'll do a top 15 this week. Number 15 today, listeners, we're going all the way out to June. In fact, it looks like every contract this week, with the exception of number 12, I'll give you a hint, is crude oil. That's a May contract. Everything else is June this week, listen, which again, kind of interesting. On the one hand, June seems like it's very far away, does it not, listeners? Summer, it just doesn't feel like it's summertime in the offing, listeners. But that's where we are. Top 15, number 15, listeners. It's going out to FX. It's the Japanese yen, 125,000 contracts on the tape to break into our top 15 this week. Number 14, keeping it in FX. It's the euro, 138,000 contracts on the tape today. So not a record-setting day by any means out there today, but a decently active one, all things considered. Number 13 just set some new all-time highs very recently. It's our old pal gold, 149,000 contracts on the tape. We were just talking not that long ago. Can it possibly hit 3,000? Can we break 3,000 out there, listeners? Well, we did it. And we are well north of 3,000. Let's see, when exactly did we break 3,000? It looks like it was right around March 14th. 3,001 is where we went out. So yeah, 3172 now in gold. So 3,000, a distant memory in the rear view mirror, listeners. Number 13 gold, 149,000 contracts on the tape today. Carly had a bit of a dim view of gold on the show recently. Some of our other guests, dim view of the metals in general. Not stopping all this upside right now. Are you fans of the metals out here right now? Maybe the mini metals? A little bit of a callback to some of our older shows, listeners. Hit us up, let us know as we keep on rolling. Number 12, I already gave it away. It's crude oil, our old pal WTI, the only May contract on the list today, 159,000 contracts on the tape today. Number 11 from energy, we go to the realm of the rates. It's the Ultra T-Bond. 222,000 contracts on the tape today. Number 10, keeping it in the rates. Usually, this contract goes all the way out to December. So we're getting some weird liquidity on the board today as well. 3 months SOFR, but again, June, not December. 241,000 contracts on the tape. So some weird stuff afoot out there today in the futures landscape. Number 9, going all the way out on the curve to the 30-year, 308,000 contracts on the tape. So we got a nice little strip here of rates. Because number 8 is the Ultra 10-year, 420,000 contracts on the tape. Now, number 7, we take a break for a little bit of equity action going out to the NASDAQ 100 E-mini, 423,000 contracts on the tape today. Number 6, right back to the rates. It's the 2-year, 439 on the tape today. Number 5, right back to the equities. It's a battle. It's the E-mini, the S&P E-mini, 911,000. That shows you the jump there from number 6 to 5. The bottom really 2/3 of our list below number 5, not a ton of paper. And then we get to number 5 and we start getting pretty heated. E-mini, 911,000 contracts on the tape. Number 4, the 5-year note, 918,000 contracts on the tape. Number 3 and number 2, you can kind of see why we pull these out of the list normally. A little bit distortive. Kept them in there this week. Number 3, it's the S&P 500 Micro. So not the E-mini, but the smaller, more bite-sized flavor. 966,000 contracts on the tape. Now, obviously, take that number with a huge grain of salt because it is a micro-sized contract. But nonetheless, a few of you have asked, where do the micros fall? So we thought we'd leave them in this week to give you a little bit of a snapshot there. Number 2. Also in micro land, it's the NASDAQ 100 micro, 1.34 million contracts. Micro's not messing around out there, listeners, but also a little bit distortive when it comes to their actual volume. And then the big dog out there again, if you've been listening to the show at all over the last few months, you know pretty much what it is. Week in, week out, I'm hard-pressed to think of a week where it was usurped. It is our old pal, the 10-year note. Comparatively light today, only 1.63 million contracts on the tape. Before we roll out of here for this week, listen, let's do some year-to-date trends. A lot of stuff has happened. We are only one day past April Fool's Day, so the year is still very young, but already some serious trends are developing, and we're here to break them all down for you, listeners. Let's go to the upside again because I'm feeling charitable this week, listeners. And let's go number 5 for the year. Let's see, can you guess what's going to be in our top 5 for the year? If you listen to the show for a little, you can probably guess at least a couple of them. Did you have number 5 for the year so far? We just talked about it in the show. Hint, hint, earlier today. It's gold. The June gold contract, 17.62% to the upside so far year to date. So I think you probably could guess that one given what I was just saying about gold hitting new all-time highs and then blowing through them. Gold having a good year so far. I also talked about this one today. This is our old pal soybean oil up 18.01% so far year to date. This one we've talked about a lot so far this year as well. If you've ever been to Starbucks this year, you've lamented this. It's coffee up 23.55% so far year to date. Number two, another one very much driven by tariffs and, of course, all the geopolitical madness going on. It is high-grade copper, 23.99% to the upside. And our number one year-to-date mover so far. Can you guess it? I'll give you a hint. It's a popular one, especially on our TWIFO show. And also, it's got a cheaper underlying, so it's a little bit easier for them to make some large percentage moves. If you guess Natgas, you are correct. Number one for the year so far to the upside, up 28.86%. All right, to the downside we go. We got to do a bottom six again. Can you guess why? If you were just listening, you know exactly why. Number 6/5, kicking it off in the dairy. Good thing for me being lactose intolerant. I don't have to drink it, but then again, it's cheaper, so maybe I want to. It's non-fat dry milk off 13.5%. Just add water. Delicious. Number 5/4, listeners, it's cocoa. A rough year so far, off nearly 19%, which is kind of interesting because it gained 11% this week. So obviously getting back a lot of what it lost so far for the year this week, but still net down nearly 20%. So cocoa's had a shellacking so far this year, even after a good week. Then we got our old pal coming in at the number 4/3 spot, keeping it in dairy. It's dry whey, off 29.3%. Bit of a dairy apocalypse going on out there so far this year, listeners. Again, it's a shame I can't drink it or eat it because it's getting cheaper. But nonetheless, dry whey on our list there, listeners, at number 4/3 because it's off 29.3%. Number 2 and 3, it's our old pal, the Ether Big and Micro Futures, off 44.9 and 44.93 respectively out there, listeners. So yeah, just what can I say at this point that hasn't been said? If you were hoping this was your year, I guess you can take some solace in that most other cryptos are down quite a bit as well. I mean, Solana has been cut more than in half. So by that standard, ETH is outperforming it, but not perhaps in the way you hoped. And then number one to the downside this year, this should at least bring some relief to your breakfast table. It's our old pal OJ, off nearly 50%, 47.98% out there. So just wild stuff out there in a Just the Facts, ma'am edition of the Futures Rundown. All right, listeners, I have to get out of here to go battle the masses. Yet again, I appreciate you joining us for yet another week here on the Futures Rundown. Come on back tomorrow for, of course, the option block in the morning with our friends over there at SIBO and the Flowmaster, followed by very much the sister program to this one, a little bit of This Week in Futures Options. If you want to hear the options side of all this futures moving and shaking, you know where to go. This Week in Futures Options with our friends over there at CME. Friday, we're going to talk all the madness that is vol, and spoiler alert, there is some out there right now, as well as come back for you folks in the pro one final time for a little bit of Options Oddities. For you pro folks, I appreciate you. Thanks for joining us a little bit earlier today than usual. Don't blame me. Blame all the madness that is afoot out there. And then we'll see you back here next week, all the way through to next Wednesday, another episode of the Futures Rundown. Stay safe out there, everybody.
You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network, the home of the Options Podcast. For more quality options programs, visit theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app available in the iTunes and Google Play stores. Select programs are also available via live stream at mixlr.com/options-insider. That's mixlr.com/options-insider. Don't forget to follow along with your favorite programs and submit your own questions for the hosts at twitter.com/options, stocktwits.com/options, facebook.com/theoptionsinsider, or via questions at theoptionsinsider.com.